up, guys? Happy Friday the 13th. I hope all of you guys are doing exceptionally well today. And if you're superstitious, let me know what you do to overcome your superstitions. Um, so here we are, Friday night. Tonight is a little bit different because it is not a writing live stream. We're going to be editing a vlog tonight. So I've been on vacation for the past week, and instead of coming back and trying to get this writing going, we're putting the writing live stream off until next week, and I'm going to do some editing that will allow me to catch up one on some editing I got to do and allow me to share with you guys a couple cool things, as well as if you're interested in learning how to edit in Davinci Resolve, doing basic edits, advanced edits, or you just want to hang out and see how I edit a vlog, um, then today is your lucky day because that's what we're going to be doing. So I hope you are as stoked as I am. And first and foremost, want to talk about a few things. Like I said, it's Friday the 13th. So if you're out there in YouTube chat land, YouTube live streaming land, what is your favorite Friday the 13th film? Mine is Friday the 13th Part 6. And that is my favorite for a whole bunch of different reasons, but it is my favorite because it is probably the best combination of horror and campiness when it comes to Jason Voorhees. It also has Tommy Jarvis, grown up Tommy Jarvis in it, which I absolutely love. So if you haven't seen Friday the 13th Part 6, go check it out because it is my favorite. So, with every live stream, we are going to talk about our channel members. So we got a couple channel members here on the Drucifer channel. We have Violet Quinn and we have Andrew Lindowski. These guys are channel members, and if you don't know what that means, then go down there and click that join button and watch that little video. It'll tell you a little bit about it. I think I'm pointing in the right direction here. Um, and see if it's something you're interested in. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but here on the Juice for channel, you'll see tonight during this live stream, we're going to be doing some channel member exclusive only things. So shout out to those guys. They are awesome. And like I said, they support the channel at a deeper level, and it really not only helps me, um, make more content, but it also helps motivate me to make more content. So, shout out to them. They're awesome. And I will put the links to both of their YouTube channels down in the description of this video once I go back and edit this live stream. So, uh, if you want to check out either one of their channels or any channel member, go down and check the description of the video. So, let's talk a little bit about my vacation. So, went to Cleveland, Ohio, and this is all going to preface this vlog because it is going to be a vacation vlog. So, went to Cleveland, Ohio to visit some of my wife's family. That's where she's from. That's where most of her family lives, and uh, we really went up there to visit her family. Really not like a leisurely type of vacation, but I was able to squeeze in a little bit of, photography, shooting and a little bit of vlogging while I was up there, and I was able to hit some cool spots. So if you watched my most recent video that was shot up there in Akron, Ohio, and that was shot at the Glendale Historic Cemetery. So that was a place I've never been before. Um, really enjoyed it. I would go back there, and there's a lot more there to shoot than what I shot. Also, Lakeview Cemetery is a place I talk about in that vlog, and that's the vlog that we're going to be editing today. Now, I started editing this vlog yesterday, before I left Cleveland, and I was thinking about, what can I do for my live stream on Friday night? And I thought, oh, well, maybe if I stop editing this vlog and I wait and I edit, the Lakeview Cemetery vlog on the live stream, then maybe people will get value out of that. Maybe they'll enjoy seeing how I edit a vlog, and it'll just give me an opportunity to hang out with anybody out there that wants to come by and wants to join in. So uh, that's what we're gonna do. Cleveland, Ohio was 55 degrees was the high when I left out of there. So it was cold, and today I think on the drive home, like each state got progressively warmer. You had West Virginia, Virginia, and then, North Carolina, and it was like 80 degrees here, a high of here today. So, but the fall colors up there, absolutely stunning. Like they're almost at peak color already up there in Ohio, and man, um, you'll see in some of the video footage and in some of the photos, like what it looks like. I didn't really get to shoot as much as I wanted and go as many places as I wanted to go, but like I said, the trip wasn't leisurely, it wasn't about me. I was there to support my wife and to support her family that that needed support and that was, expecting us to visit. So, shout out to any of them if they watch this in the near future. So, let's see our poll here. Friday the 13th, Jason is near. What weapon do you have? So I'm 100% picking somebody picked knife. I'm 100% going with the axe. I'm just saying cuz Jason, depending on which movie you're looking at, he's going to have a machete, he's going to have an axe, he's going to have a pitchfork. The two swords wouldn't be a bad option. Really none of them are a bad option, but I'm going with the axe because I'm cutting his legs off. That's my move. All right. So let's go ahead and let's bring up Davinci Resolve. We're gonna screen share. So I hope you guys are hanging out. Hope you got some coffee, and feel free to ask me any questions about whatever it is you want to ask me, whether it's vacation related, whether it's photography related, editing related, or whatever, me related, horror related. Um, I don't know. Feel free to ask away. And we're going to hop into DaVinci Resolve and we're going to start editing this vlog. So here we go. All right, let me get my mic turned here a little bit. Okay, so what we want to do first and foremost is we want to bring in some footage. So over here in the media panel, can you see where my mouse is freaking out? I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to click on import media. So hopefully this doesn't take too long since I'm doing all sorts of stuff on my computer here. Um, so I have all of these clips already saved in a folder. I'm going to highlight them all. I'm going to hit open. It's going to ask me if I want to change the frame rate. I'm going to say yes. Go ahead and change it. And here we go. So here's all of our clips, or most of the clips we're going to use starting out with. And then we're going to just start building this edit. So I know that just from how I shot this, I know my first clip is this one here. Let me make sure this is it. Yeah, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to drag and drop it on my timeline. So, I assume you guys can hear this. Let me know in the chat if you can hear this as it plays back. Cemetery that was founded in 1869. It spans 285 acres. Can you guys hear that? All right, so I edit a little bit differently than a lot of people. I go ahead and I grade, or if I have a LUT that I like to use, I go ahead and I throw that on as I'm editing because I know I'm going to chop this thing up and I'm going to have a whole bunch of cuts. Hey, appreciate the feedback there. If you don't mind me asking, where did you come from? Are you from YouTube? Are you from how did you find this live stream? Because I'm not sure if I've seen your name on here before. Um, is it I'm gonna assume YouTube, but I'm not sure. So like I said, I edit a little bit differently than some people. So I have this LUT that I'm throwing on all of my uh awesome. Glad you're from YouTube. What's up, Chuck? How you doing? Um So I have this LUT that I use on all of my my fall vlogs that I'm shooting right now. So this is my custom LUT, and anybody watching this live stream, I'm gonna throw it up there for you guys to have just for watching this live stream. So let me go ahead and let me throw that link up there now, so you guys have it. If you want it, and this LUT will work not just in Davinci Resolve, it'll work in Premiere Pro as well, or whatever editing software you're using that you can load LUTs into, which is basically all of them nowadays. So give me 1 second. Let me bring that up so you guys can have that if you want it. And in this folder too, um, there's gonna be a Lightroom preset as well. So feel free to download them both because they're both for anybody that is wanting to watch the live streams or anybody that is a channel member. So let me give you guys the link to this. Cool. Check this out. You guys go ahead and download these. That's just a Google Drive link. You can go there. Let me know if you have any issues downloading them. If you do, then I can help you get a workaround for it. But those should just go straight up there. You click on each one. The Bones is this one that we're working with here in DaVinci Resolve. It is a video LUT, and Graves is a uh, Lightroom photo preset. So you guys can have both of those. They both have a fall look, and it'll give you the look that we're going for in these videos. So you can see here right now, this is with the LUT applied. This is without it. With it applied, without it, right? So you could see how that automatically gives me that fall time look. You know, it's pretty gnarly, right? So the fall coloring up here was pretty good already, but this just gives it that little bit extra. All right, so let me find the point where I start talking. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit so it's not blasting you guys out. So right here. All right, welcome to Cleveland. All right, so I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna make a cut. I cut that. This little section out. Ripple delete it. And if you're a DaVinci Resolve user, or I think Premiere does this, I can grab this little tab and I can fade in my clip. So here's what I want this to look like. All right, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was founded in 1869. It spans 285 acres and has 104,000 graves. And they are still burying people to this day, so it's going to have even more than that. So not only is it notable for all of its amazing landscaping, but there's a dam here. There are numerous chapels, as well as tons of mausoleums like this gigantic one behind us. So check this out. So I am shooting a vlog because I'm doing some photography in one of my favorite places ever, and this is Lakeview Cemetery. And this mausoleum, that's what that is behind me. It is absolutely massive. It is a businessman, M.A. Hanna, who was a businessman like in the early 1900s, and him and his family is buried in this mausoleum. And this is sort of the intro of the video. I want to get that all right out of there, so I'm gonna clip that out. I'm not Matthew McConaughey. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was founded in 1869. It spans 285 acres and has 104,000 graves. So I had my wife filming me just for this part to help out as I was walking backwards. I don't rarely have a camera person. Normally I'm just, using a selfie stick here. Um, Somebody clicked 2 swords on the poll. So, cool. So somebody said if Jason's near, they're using 2 swords. Somebody said a knife. My bet is still on the axe, but they're all good choices. Alright, so let me know if you guys had any luck downloading those LUTs. All right, so we got this little intro clip here. This is me giving just some quick facts saying, hey, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery. Lakeview Cemetery spans 285 acres. And in 2007, the census said there was 104,000 graves or 104,000 people buried there. And it was founded in like the early 1800s, and they're still burying people there today. So it is just like a humongous cemetery. And I go on to talk about some of the features that are, in the cemetery that I don't necessarily get to see in the vlog, but I do post them up in the community post. So if you're not a subscriber, subscribe, check it out because I do post things in my community post that don't make it into the videos, or sometimes it's BTS, or sometimes it's extras like LUT downloads and that sort of thing. Um, as well as I talk about that this cemetery has a dam, like a full-fledged dam. It has a pond. It has multiple I guess they're called like cremation buildings. I don't know, like when somebody decides to be cremated and then they get put in a little like thing in the wall. Multiple buildings of that. It has a humongous monument for President Garfield. Um, that looks like a castle. They were actually renovating it on this day, so I couldn't go see it, but I've shot there before. You could look it up. It is extremely gnarly. And they have a couple cathedrals. One that we visit in this video called the Wade Chapel, and it is amazing on the inside. So if you like that type of architecture, like chapels and cathedrals and stuff like that, then you're gonna think this place is awesome, especially if you know um, the fashion designer Tiffany from Tiffany and Co. So Tiffany, the person, he actually designed the inside of this chapel, and he hand laid all of these small little intricate mosaic tiles as well as carved. I can't remember what it was he carved. It was like some sort of plaster for the lanterns hanging inside the chapel. I'm gonna show all that to you guys when we get to it, but it's just extravagant. This entire cemetery. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see where we're gonna make this cut. Right there. Because I say we're gonna take a stroll through here and we're gonna shoot some photos. So let's go back. I'm gonna cut right there. I'm gonna hit A, Command X. Or I believe that would be Control X if you had a Windows keyboard. Uh, all right, so we got this first clip. So our next clip is going to show one of these uh, one of these famous sculptures in this cemetery. It is called the Hazarat Angel. So the Hazarat Angel, aka the Angel of Death, I'm gonna show her to you guys here in just a second. I'm looking for my clip. Okay, right here. All right, so I'm gonna drag and drop that. So this is the Hazarat Angel, and you can look it up. There is like some urban legends behind this thing. So this is the Hazarat Angel. We'll freeze frame right here so you guys can see what she looks like. The Hazarat Angel, the urban legend behind it is when you come to visit the Hazarat Angel, if you don't leave an offering at her feet, whether it's a gift or it's a coin or it's something, you have to leave an offering, then she's going to come to you and she's going to kill you in your sleep. The angel of death. So the Hazarat Angel was actually commissioned by Francis Hazarat for his wife after she passed away. And this is like the monument. But over the years, obviously, that story has come to be. And every time I go to Cleveland, I visit the Hazarat Angel. Even if I don't do anything else in the cemetery, I go directly here, visit the Hazarat Angel, and leave, like a coin down at her feet. And I'll show you, like if you could see down here by her. the angel's feet. There's a coin, and I'm not really a superstitious person. I just think it's a cool little thing on my trip out there in Cleveland to stop and do. I'm gonna throw my LUT on it. You can see how that changes the look of it instantly. And I want to slow sort of like zoom in. I was just walking towards this um, with my camera, and I'm gonna get rid of the audio because the audio is not needed here. So I'm gonna right click it. I'm gonna unlink my audio, my video, and then I'm gonna Command X my my video there. So I just want like a just like here, maybe like to there. Just a quick little B-roll shot. And then we're gonna hop over to where I'm talking about it, which is I have multiple clips because I kept messing up. I get very tongue twisted when I try and talk. I think this is a good clip here. So I'm gonna grab it and drag it down. All right, now I'll let you guys listen to this real quick. Um, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna throw our LUT on there, and any kind of like adjustments we need to do this LUT, I'll do that at the very end. All right. Right. So one of my favorite stops here at Lakeview Cemetery is situated right here behind me, and this is the Hazarat Angel, aka the Angel of Death. The Hazarat Angel was commissioned by Francis Hazarat after the death of his wife. Now, the story has it that the Hazarat Angel, aka the Angel of Death, is going to come and kill you in your sleep if, when you come visit her, you don't leave an offering here at her feet. So this isn't only one of my favorite parts of the cemetery, but it is a must stop every time I come to Lakeview Cemetery. And you better believe that I leave an offering just for good measure every time I come. So if you're ever here in the cemetery or in Cleveland, make a stop and see the Hazarat Angel. Okay, pretty easy, huh? That was pretty easy. Now, for good measure every time I come. So if you're I need to I have this B-roll of me putting a coin down right here. So I would like to include that in. So when I talk about leaving an offering down at her feet, and you better believe that I leave an offering right here. I want to put that in there. That way it just matches what I'm saying. Offering just for good measure every time I come. All right. So we need to actually go back a little bit because I hold on to the coin for a minute too long. That I leave an offering just for good measure. All right, there we go. Cool. So let's throw our LUT on that one. Nice. Better believe that I leave an offering just for good measure every time I come. So if you're ever here in the cemetery or in Cleveland, make a stop and see the Hazarat Angel. All right, so what do you guys think so far? What do you think of the Hazarat Angel? Pretty crazy, right? If you enjoy like um taking photos, then you would really, really enjoy like walking around like Lakeview Cemetery. It's just a lot of fun. It's very picturesque, and almost no matter where you put your camera or point your camera, you can't get a bad shot. So, um, yeah, Chuck, I just got into town earlier today. So it hot off the press, really. I got in, left at 7 and got back about 3:30, so I was booking it back. Back in town. Like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot I could do while I was up there because the main objective was to spend some time with my wife's grandmother. And that's really what we did. We spent a lot of family time. So, you know, didn't have a whole lot of time to shoot or as much time as I would have liked. But like I said, the trip wasn't about me. Wasn't a leisurely trip. It was more or less to go support my wife, seeing her family. I was just able to squeeze in a little bit of shooting while I was there. Um, but Chuck, always a supporter. I appreciate you tuning in as always, man. Always good to see you here in the chat. All right, so let's continue on. So I hope you guys downloaded those LUTs that I threw up there because after this live stream, those LUTs in that Lightroom preset are going to be for channel members only. So that link will no longer work. If you're interested in getting free stuff and all of that, check out that join button that is down below next to my channel name and all that stuff right below the video. And just see, if it's something you're interested in because I'm going to be doing a lot of cool things for the channel members. So, as well as I want to go ahead and talk about it before we get too much into this edit. So, a lot of my videos kind of span, sometimes my vlogs are long. Sometimes they're, have I don't know, some BTS stuff in there. Sometimes they have extra photo stuff in there. And I think that I'm going to start trimming them shorter for the channel. But if you're a channel member, you'll be able to obviously either watch the one that's uploaded to the channel, or YouTube allows me to upload videos that only the channel members can see. And I think a lot of those longer videos or videos with like certain things in them, I'm going to make channel member only videos. So this video, I'm going to test that out because I have a 15, maybe 10 to 15 minute section where I go in this chapel and the woman that's the guide in there sort of tells me the history of the chapel, tells me everything about it. And I'm going to include that in the members only vlog. Um, but in the regular vlog, I'll probably cut that out. The same with at the end of the video, I go and I shoot some mausoleums, and it's a good maybe 5 to 8 minute long of me shooting these mausoleums. I'm probably going to keep that in for the channel members and then cut it out for the regular YouTube audience. So there will be videos like that where the channel members get a little bit extra, as well as like getting LUTs and presets and discounts on stuff. And, so like I said, there will be value gained from that, as well as whatever you see on that join button. So, all right, so we've got this here. I've got a little bit of my B-roll. I have other B-roll that I could throw in here. Maybe we'll play around with it, see if I like it. I wasn't shooting with any kind of like exceptional camera, I left my cinema camera at home, I left my Sony mirrorless at home, and I really only took my photo camera, which is Fujifilm X Pro 3, and then I took my vlogging camera of choice, which is this huge proponent of vlogging with something small like this. And my favorite right now is the Insta360 Go 3. And that's what I carry around, that's what I vlog with, and that's because I'm doing so many vlogs back to back. If I was maybe vlogging once a week or doing, like, cinematic vlogs, I would do with, like, an FX3 or, like a Sony mirrorless or something like that. Um, but when I'm doing so many back to back, I want it to be as easy as possible. Now, the only downside to that is when I go to shoot B-roll and stuff like that, then, I've got one lens, and that's normally like a wide lens. So I want to unlink the audio from this clip. But the cool thing about this is, let's go ahead and let's try to zoom in a little bit here. In your sleep, if when you come visit her. So I don't know that I like this really. Let's zoom out of that. But let's see. All right. AKA the Angel of Death. The Hazarat Angel was commissioned by Francis Hazarat after the death of his wife. Now, the story had. This is when I would need to cut to the B-roll when I'm telling the brief little history of the story. So Google Drive access was denied. So let me see what's up with it. Um, let me see. See. All right, hang on. Let me bring it back in for you. It should work according to Google. All right, try that out and see if that works for you. And if it doesn't, then I will find a workaround for you. So Google Drive is telling me anybody with that link. Awesome. Good. Hey man, pick up those free LUTs and just throw it in your library in that Lightroom preset. Like I said, they're a specific look. They're gonna give you this very fall-like look. And they're gonna be a use case, they're like all presets and LUTs. You're gonna have to get in there and play around with some of the settings, but it'll get you 95% of the way there. Now, the story has it that the Hazrat Angel, aka the Angel of Death, is going to come and kill you in your sleep. So the only good section of that video is like this part because it's not very smooth. Angel of Death. Okay. Now, the story has it that the Hazrat Angel, aka nope, I don't want that B-roll there. I'd rather just have me talking. Death is going to come and kill you in your sleep if, when you come visit her, you don't leave an offering here at her feet. So this isn't only one of my favorite parts of the cemetery, but it is a must stop every time I come to Lakeview Cemetery. And you better believe that I leave an offering just for good measure every time I come. So if you're ever here in the cemetery or in Cleveland, make a stop and see the Hazrat Angel. Cool. So you know what I forgot? Let me highlight all this because I do have a section here that I want to throw in the video. So I talk a little bit about the Hannah Monument. Where is it at? Right here. So I talk a little bit about this, and I think it's important to include in the video because I don't mind that I'm swinging the camera up from down here either, because I'm saying, hey, we're going to blog mode. That's kind of like letting people know that going from this to this is about to happen. So I'm going to throw my LUT on there. Cool. There it is. All right. So if you guys want to watch this back. Go through here and we shoot some photos. All right. So this one that's behind me is the Hannah Mausoleum. This one is humongous. If you look around the side of it, this has gargoyles on all four corners with these amazing columns spanning the front. Now, I don't know how many people are actually buried in this one, but I do know that it has a massive entryway on both sides. And I took some shots of the inside, but I'll see if I can put the camera up here for you guys to see better of what's in there. You can see that there are crypts on either side, as well as, some light fixtures in there. This one is very well maintained. And like I said, not only does it have these two amazing entryways on both sides, it has this look at the sidewalk very well maintained on this here. Mausoleum. Probably one of the best entryways I've seen to any mausoleum that I've been to. You can see here it just wraps around down to the road, down where Tawny's at, and where we parked down there on the street. So look at this. Let me show you guys how good this LUT is. I don't want to toot my own horn, but so you see this? You see these orange trees here? I'm going to turn the LUT on and off. You see that? That's off. And like I said, there was a lot of orange, a lot of yellow in the trees, but the camera didn't necessarily pick it up. And that's with it on, right? Like, I mean, you're talking about crazy, crazy autumn LUT here. It even does good for the skin tones, right? Like it warms up my skin tones a bit. Here it just wraps down to the road, down where Tawny's at, and where we parked down there on the street. So Lakeview Cemetery is amazing. So if you ever come to Cleveland, Ohio, this is a must stop. I'm telling you guys. Okay. All right. So we got that in there. I had forgot that earlier. This needs to go back up here. We're going to ripple delete that. So we're going to have a sound effect here to bring that in. And you better believe that I leave an Better believe I leave an offering every time I come, just for good measure. Just for good measure, every offering. Just for good measure, believe that I leave an offering. Just for good measure, every time I come. So if you're ever here in the cemetery or in Cleveland, make a stop and see the Hazard Angel. The Hazard Angel. All right, so from there, after we hit the Hazard Angel, so we have some photos that we're going to bring in here too. If you've ever watched any of my vlogs, I do like POV photography, and I have some shots not only of the Hazard Angel, but I have some shots of the Hannah Mausoleum. I can go ahead and show you guys what that's going to look like. So I'm going to right click over here in my media bin, or media pool, should I say, and I'm going to hit import media. I have some photos that I took, so I'm going to bring those in. So just bear with me for 1 second. Let's see, where is my photo of... All right, here we go. All right, so here is... Let's see. I'm selecting a lot of photos in a folder right now. Hang on, guys. All right, so I brought all those in. You can see all those pop up over here. And, you know, my camera makes a um, very audible shutter click, but you can't really hear it a lot of times on camera. So I have this little fake shutter click that I bring in to help with the sound. And if I'm talking about that I took a photo, then you know, sometimes I don't always actually have my camera on me. So like right here. Now, I don't know how many people are actually buried in this one, but I do know that it has a massive entryway on both sides. And I took some shots. Right where I say I took some shots, we're going to throw my photo that I took up on screen. And this is actually my camera just pressed up against that iron like um, door that is covering. It's actually shooting through the front door, and the back door that I'm walking to in the video right now is the door that you can see in this photo. So I'm going to zoom that out a little bit because I don't want it to cover the whole screen, and then I'm going to bring my shutter sound in there, which is right here. And I'm just going to line that up. I'm just going to line it up with where the photo's at, and you guys will see how that works in just a second. We're going to do that for all the photos that I take in this vlog. Both sides. And I took some shots of the inside, but I'll see. So you see that I say I took some shots, and it shows you one of the shots I took. And I took some shots of the inside, but I'll see if I can put the camera up here for you guys to see better of what's in there. You can see that there are crypts on either side. All right, and then I'm talking about the walkway. After the death, here is probably one of the best entryways I've seen to any mausoleum that I've been to. All right, so I'm talking about that. I took a shot of that as well, so I want to make sure I include that in here. So that is right here. And these photos are using that Lightroom preset that I put in the chat for you guys to download. All right, so I'm just gonna come over here to my shutter sound. I'm gonna hit Option, and I'm gonna drag it because that's just gonna copy that shutter sound. And I'm just gonna line it up with this image here. And in that image, I want to scale down a little bit, like so. Probably one of the best entryways I've seen to any mausoleum that I've been to. You can see here it just wraps around down to the road, down where Tawny's at, and where we parked down there on the street. So, and that information is important because it shows you how close you can actually park to it. Because that street is not like a city street. That street is, a street in a cemetery. All right, so we'll come back. We'll find the sound effect for that in just a little bit. We're gonna skip ahead. So we finished talking about the Hazarat angels. So the next clip we have is, let's see here. I'm not even totally sure what this clip is. I don't think I put this in the original edit when I started editing it. Statues everywhere. And this is a super addition to the many urban legends that this cemetery holds and all the famous people that are buried here. There's tons of mausoleums and cool sculptures and statues everywhere. And this is a super picturesque cemetery, even more so than the one that we looked at yesterday. And almost anywhere you point your camera, you're going to get a good photo. All right, so that's kind of good. I kind of like that. The wind was ripping. Somewhere, there's a wild tawny walking right there. It's my wife. All right, so we're going to cut out the part where I talk about her. Just for the simple fact of it really holds no bearing on what I'm talking about. We're going to hit my LUT. All right, so let's go ahead and or in Cleveland, make a stop and see the Hazarat angel. So in addition to the, I need to cut that a little bit later, right here. Make a stop and see the Hazarat angel. So in addition to the many urban legends that this cemetery holds and all of the famous people that are buried here, there's tons of mausoleums and cool sculptures and statues everywhere. And this is a super picturesque cemetery, even more so than the one that we looked at yesterday. And almost anywhere you point your camera, you're going to get a good photo. Oh, I cut myself off a little bit. Photo. It's facts. Anywhere you point your camera in that cemetery, you're going to get a good photo. All right, so that is there. Let me see. I think the next place I hit is the Wade Chapel. And we're going to put together the channel members vlog here. Like I said, I'm going to cut up some of this to where it's the regular YouTube viewers vlog. So if you're watching on the live stream, you can get see some stuff that you won't see that's actually uploaded to the channel unless you go back and you watch this live stream. But so here's the Wade Chapel, right? Here's one of the chapels that is in the graveyard. Here's the front of it right here. That's my son. That's my wife. But I want to show you guys the interior. Let me find that footage. Let me make sure I have it real quick. I know I have it. I just got to make sure that I have it uploaded over here. Let's see. All right, so tell you what, instead of cutting the, no, I do want to cut together the channel members vlog first. Hang on, let me get this footage sent over to me. All right. I'm going to send it over and let it process, and then we're going to work on something else while it sends. So, my bad. I thought I had it already sent over. So, give me just a minute. As I am doing that, watch this piece back right here and let me know how the flow seems to go between this one and the part after it. Lakeview Cemetery is situated right here behind me, and this is the Hazara Angel, aka the Angel of Death. The Hazara Angel was commissioned by Francis Hazara after the death of his wife. Now, the story has it that the Hazara Angel, aka the Angel of Death, is going to come and kill you in your sleep if, when you come visit her, you don't leave an offering here at her feet. So this isn't only one of my favorite parts of the cemetery, but it is a must stop every time I come to Lakeview Cemetery. And you better believe that I leave an offering just for good measure every time I come. So if you're ever here in the cemetery or in Cleveland, make a stop and see the Hazrat Angel. So in addition to the many urban legends that this cemetery holds and all the famous people that are buried here, there's tons of mausoleums and cool sculptures and statues everywhere. And this is a super picturesque cemetery, even more so than the one that we looked at yesterday. And almost anywhere you point your camera, you're going to get a good photo. I want to take a picture of the front of this place. Said all cemeteries pale in comparison, not just because. All right, hang on, I'm looking for this clip here. So while we wait, while I'm looking, I have this clip somewhere. I'm looking through all these files. What editing software does everybody use? What's up, Brandon? How you doing? If I point what at the ground, Chuck? Camera? I do that a lot. All right, hang on. I gotta figure out what the heck I have going on here because I've got so many files. I gotta find that one. Kind of ill planned here. I thought I already had it in there. So that is 0095. I think I found it, guys. Maybe. Hmm. All right. Luckily, I saved it. Hang on. Because what happened was I apparently thought it was a good idea to delete it out of my camera. So I got to find it on my iPad because I was editing on the go um on my vacation. Okay. So I won't waste any more time looking for that. Oh yeah, you get a good photo no matter where you point it. I mean, you can get a good photo pointing it at the ground. Um just depending on what the ground looks like. I point my camera at the ground all the time, probably more than I should to try and get photos of it. So, Brandon, did you see the poll up there? Did you did you vote in the poll? If Jason Voorhees is coming for you, or Jason Voorhees is near, since it's Friday the 13th, what weapon are you using? I have to know by the end of this what the consensus is. All right. Cool. So we're gonna hop back into this. So instead of, I'm gonna have to locate that clip. I've got it. It's just gonna take too long for me to get it over. There is a 10-minute, 10 to 12-minute portion of the guide inside Wade Chapel. This chapel here. Um, Basically telling us the history of it, going over Tiffany's involvement of it, and telling us everything about it, which is gnarly. And maybe the casual YouTube viewer may not want to sit through that. So, like I said, that's going to be a channel member exclusive. So, if you're interested in learning the history of certain places I go, since I'm not really a history channel, or I don't really delve into a lot of the history of the places I go, the poll's all the way at the top, Brandon. Then that's going to be an exclusive for the people that are like into that sort of thing. All right, so excuse me, rewinding back. This is Wade Chapel. So I just want to get that portion where I say this is Wade Chapel. Command exit out of there. Right click that empty space, ripple delete. Um, Let me make sure that you guys can see my screen as well. Cool. All right, we're back. All right, so the outside of it. Over here is where all the mausoleums are that I want to take some shots of. And like I said, all cemeteries pale in comparison, not just because of everything we've talked about here so far, but there's a pond down here as well. So, like I said, there's so much history. I'm sure you heard the lady in there talking about Tiffany and the Tiffany Company, you know, doing all the work inside there and all of the extreme detailed tile work and all of that, as well as the stained glass windows inside there. You want to walk down? All right, so cool. All right, so I talked a little bit about that. I'm going to hit B to bring up my blade tool. That way I can cut that. So we're going to walk down this trail. And I'm going to pick back up right here. Command X. Let's join those two clips together by selecting that empty space, hitting ripple delete. Now I want to hit my LUT. So watch how easy this turns to fall. You see it? Let's throw my LUT on there. Look at that. Easy enough, right? Now, like I said, it looked pretty good there. Like I'm shooting in log, so it's washed out. It's way more washed out than what it actually looked. It looked more like fall with your eyes, and this camera gets it a little bit closer to what it actually looked like. Detailed tile work and all of that, as well as the stained glass windows inside there. So we're gonna walk down this trail and go down here, check out the lake or the pond rather. All right. So let's see. All right, so I cut it before I actually walk around there. So I'm going to cut right here after I say the pond. Now I go back to the backside of the chapel and kind of talk a little bit about it. So this is the backside of. Now, there's a little bit interesting story here about the backside of the chapel or the basement of the chapel. So that's why it's important to show this part. The chapel of Wade. So this is the backside of the chapel of Wade Chapel. Um, there's the stained glass window up there, and like the lady in there was saying, there is a basement that's closed to the public. But before they could dig graves out in the wintertime, they would store caskets in here until the ground was soft enough and the earth was warm enough for them to dig in. But it's pretty cool. Lakeview Cemetery. All right, so remember, guys, that this cemetery currently, well, the census that was taken on the cemetery in 2007, which was, oh, that was a long time ago. That was, what is that, like 16 years ago? I think that's correct math, like 16 years ago. At that time, there was 104,000 graves there. 104,000 people that have been buried there. That is more than some towns. Some cities have residents, right? So, um, back in the early days of this cemetery, Wade Chapel right here, this was one of the first buildings to be built on the Lakeview Cemetery grounds. Um, they didn't have the same sort of like ground digging equipment that we have now, right? You're literally using shovel and pickaxe back then. And since, Cleveland's up north and in the wintertime, the ground gets really hard, right? I mean, it does here as well, but, you know, it's a little bit colder up there. So when people would die during the wintertime, they would use the basement of Wade Chapel to essentially store caskets until the ground warmed up a little bit. The ground got a little bit softer, and then they would pull those caskets out, and then they would bury them. So that's a little interesting tidbit there. And Wade Chapel was done all by, like I said, the interior and stuff, and designed by Tiffany from Tiffany and Co. But the tombstones in Lakeview Cemetery, the older ones and the buildings were done by Italian stonecutters and Italian masons, and they brought them over from Italy. So if you've ever been to Cleveland, Ohio, right around Lakeview Cemetery is a part of Cleveland called Little Italy. It is where there's a huge Italian population, and that Italian population exists because over generations, they have created a community there because back in the day, it was easy for them to walk over to the cemetery to work and do their masonry and stone cutting and all that sort of thing. So it's pretty interesting how this one cemetery sort of created an entire community for the city, as well as all of these little details about how Italians in Italy had not just a huge role in the city, but just a massive role in the cemetery itself. All right, so we go from here for caskets in here until the ground was soft enough and the earth was warm enough for them to dig in. But it's pretty cool. Lakeview Cemetery. Brandon, you out there still? All right, so here I'm gonna do any photos I take during my vlogs. Like I said, I throw the picture that I took up on screen. That is not just for people that are interested in the camera that I'm shooting with, but it's people that are interested in how I document my days. Because not only am I documenting in video form, I'm documenting in photo form, and it's also for people that are interested in photography in general. So um, you'll see me throw one of those up here. Warm enough for them to dig in. I just have to find the right spot. Cool. Lakeview Cemetery. So we start walking around this pond. My wife and son are there. Scenic. Still a shot of them. And that is the result, this picture here. So that'll come up on screen. Let me see. Let me hit A. Let's shrink that down a little bit. Scale that down. Chuck, how was your week? All week? How was work? All right, so this is what that looks like. Cool. And I really like that. I really like this format. It's just something I'm doing with all my vlogs. If I'm carrying a camera around in my vlogs, I just want people to know, hey, like, this is how I document. This is how I'm getting these photos throughout the day. And it's, I have a viewfinder only camera. So, like, I'm just literally sticking it and shooting and hoping for the best. But I keep my settings pretty freaking locked, right? Like, I know what I'm going to get. So it's just, like, I'm happy with that. Just for like a documenting type of photo. And then right after the photo, I'm going to cut the clip because that's a good place to cut it. I go over here and I look at this little monument, but I'm not going to include this in the vlog. I mean, look at this dude. Look how rad, right? Here in the cemetery, they have some pivotal figures. His name was Sergey Goldesko, like Sergey Goldesko. I don't know who he was or what he did, but he has a pretty cool little memorial there. He's Russian, you can tell right here from his nameplate. But like the tombstones and stuff from music, they go from absolutely crazy to artistic. Like look at this one right here with the swallows on it, or the sparrows. With these like sparrows on it. Isn't that cool? I'm gonna cut all this footage out. This isn't gonna be in the regular vlog. So all of this is cut out. Even poor Sergey's tombstone. All right, so we're gonna go from there, and we're gonna go straight over to. Let's see. Me talking about Alan Freed's tombstone. So Alan Freed is the guy that coined the term rock and roll. I mess up a lot, guys. It's pretty funny to see the BTS. I'll show you. All right, so one of the notable figures buried here in Lakeview. All right, so one of the other notable figures buried here in Lakeview Cemetery. Yeah, I can't talk. It happens to everybody, so it's pretty funny to see it. Can't talk. So let's see here. Oh man, I wasn't screen sharing. I wish you guys would have told me. I didn't know what happened to the screen. Okay, here we go. All right, so one of the notable figures. All right, so I need to hit my LUT on this. Like I said, I just throw my LUT on as I go and I make adjustments later. Just the way I work. All right, so one of the other notable figures born here in Lakeview Cemetery is Alan Freed. Rock and roll was born in Cleveland. All right, so. All right. Get this out of there. Get this out of there. All right, so one of the other notable figures born here in Lakeview Cemetery is Alan Freed. Rock and roll was born in Cleveland. He was a radio disc jockey and coined the phrase rock and roll in 1951. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on his tombstone. You can read through that if you want. All right, guys. So you can read this when you watch the vlog if you want, but Alan Freed, 1921, 1965, rock and roll, was born in Cleveland when Ohio native and radio disc jockey Alan Freed coined the phrase in 1951. He championed the uptempo rhythm and blues sound, and the music appealed to people on both sides of the racial divide. Freed ushered in a new spirit that helped break the barriers of segregation and provided a joyful soundtrack for hope and change. So basically, radio disc jockey coined the phrase rock and roll. So we're gonna cut it there. You can see where people have left guitar picks and people have we're gonna cut it here. Rock and roll, and they've left bracelet. And you can read through that if you want. And you can see where people have left guitar picks and people have left rocks for rock and roll, and they've left bracelets from concerts and shows. Concerts and shows. We're gonna cut it after that. And wait till you see the back of his tombstone. It's freaking gnarly. In shows. And if you go around to the back of his tombstone, he has a jukebox engraved on it. So he has a jukebox engraved on the back of his tombstone, which is pretty cool. Engraved on it. All right, so one of the cooler tombstones here at Lakeview Cemetery. One of the cooler tombstones here at Lakeview Cemetery, and one that you definitely need to stop and see. You're a music lover. True. If you love music, especially if you love rock and roll music, definitely a cool tombstone to stop and check out. All right, so let's see here. Right here, I take some photos of it. So if you go around to the back, shows picks, and people have left rocks for rock and roll, and they've left bracelets from concerts and shows. I say that really weird. Rock and roll was born in. All right, so I have some B-roll of me shooting some photos that I want to add into this shot. Link clips, Command X. All right, so let's see. Other notable figures born here in Lakeview Cemetery is Alan Freed. Rock and roll was born in Cleveland. He was a radio disc jockey. Let's see here. Let's add the LUT. And coined the phrase rock and roll and. All right, so let's go ahead and let's cut this here. And let's throw the photo I got up there. Cleveland, he was. All right, now we need our camera shutter sound. We're going to throw that in as well. All right, let's see what that's like. Was born in Cleveland. He was a radio disc jockey. All right, cool. Now I need to just scale that down a little bit. Born in Cleveland, he was a radio disc jockey and coined the phrase rock and roll in 1950. Let me make sure these line up. Phrase rock and roll. Phrase rock and roll in 1951. So I'm gonna go ahead and through that one. People have roll and they've left bracelets from concerts and shows. And if you go around, I want to get where I'm talking about. If you go around the back side, I want to get me actually walking around it. Onto the back of his tombstone. All right, so now Brandon, what you being for Halloween? You out there? Boom Squad. All right, let's see. Where's the back? All right, cool. So here's the back shot. Tombstone. All right. So let's bring in that camera. Oh, yeah, Brandon might be at work. I doubt it. 11:12. He's probably driving home. Tell you what, I'm not betting him any more money that he's out there, though. I have you know, Chuck actually paid up last time, too. Just shows you the amount of integrity. He has a jukebox engraved on it. One of the cooler tombstones here at Lakeview Cemetery, and one that you definitely need to stop and see if you're a music lover. All right, I don't like all this extra. That can all be trimmed out of there. And one that you definitely need to stop and see. Chuck, how was your week at work? Got any big plans for the weekend, Chuck? All right, so we are really getting to the end of our concluding our vlog here. I mean, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna add some music. If you guys want to hang out and watch that, I'll do it all here because I'm finishing this edit to put online tomorrow for tomorrow. All right, so here's a little bit of B-roll. Me and my wife are walking across, so we're gonna cut this down. Let's see. Just walking. We're looking at this. Then we go up to that mausoleum. Cool. So this is just a little break from me talking. So let's hit my thing, and we're going to add some movement here. Easy to do in Davinci Resolve. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hit dynamic zoom, and that's going to automatically dolly out for me. We're going to add some music in here, some sound effects. Oh, cool. What football game you going to see, Chuck? That's going to be exciting. Are you going to you going to live stream out there? Are you going to shoot a video while you're out there or anything? South Carolina versus Florida. Nice. All right, so I by no means. Heck yeah. You should I'm sure you'll shoot a video. You should definitely at least shoot a video, if nothing else. Maybe, well, I guess you don't want to like stream or anything like that because it would take away from enjoying the game. All right, so I by no means am just a cemetery photographer. Yeah, I've been shooting in cemeteries a lot here lately. I don't know why that is, other than I just enjoy them. All right, so I by no means am just
Season
a
tickets to
cemetery
South
photographer.
Carolina.
So if
Five
you're
more
listening
games
in
to
and on
go.
some of these
Wow.
videos, that may be what you're thinking. I do love cemeteries and I do shoot them a lot, but I'm not a cemetery photographer, nor am I like a cemetery historian. I just really enjoy them. Last thing I want to show you guys here in Lakeview Cemetery is these mausoleums. So this is directly near the Wade Chapel. There's the Wade Chapel where we were, and here's some of the mausoleums. And I just want to show you guys some of these amazing mausoleums. And I'm not going to take a lot of photos of them because we did that in yesterday's vlog. Um, and honestly, conditions out here are the worst conditions for a photographer. You have clear blue skies up there, so it makes it really hard to get a good photo of anything. Plus, it's just not the right time of day. But you can see some of these are built into the hill, which are really, really gnarly. Some of these are actually collapsing on the inside, so they've concreted, the doorways, and they've concreted the windows. Like this one here is gated off, so I don't know if the family still has access to this or not. But you can see that they've concreted the window, and some of these, like this one here, is the same way, and they've also concreted the door. But just the sheer craftsmanship of these is just amazing. You know, like you can look at the peak of the roof up there, how that was done. Some of these are more ornate than others, like the columns on that one, or some of the bigger ones we've looked at today. Like the windows here, stained glass here, stained glass on the back. Um, it's just amazing. Like I said, if I had my way, this is how I would be buried, and with my family in a mausoleum. And then the caskets or the crypts, the burial vaults line each wall, and you're all in there, housed and buried together. To me that just seems like an awesome way to go. And I would not mind being buried in this cemetery. You know, it's probably really, really expensive, but you know, I mean, look at it. It is very picturesque. It is very quiet and relaxed, even though it's in the middle of the hustle and bustle that is Cleveland. But that's Lakeview Cemetery, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this quick overview of it. Like I said, I could make hours and hours and hours of content just going around the cemetery and showing you guys all of the cool things. But I highly recommend if you're ever in the area, you stop by here, you check it out, because not only is it a great place to stop and like take a picnic, walk around the pond, do
It's
some
true. It's
historical
true.
things around, or see some notable figures that have been buried here. Or if you're just into the graveyard cemetery aspect of it like I am, you could spend, half a day walking around here. So, Lakeview Cemetery, check it out. That basically is it for this one, guys. I don't want to go too long on this, but as always, stay rad, just go shoot, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.
All right, so that basically is minus some music, minus an intro, and the outro, right? So we're looking at a 9 minute, 18-second long vlog. So I'm gonna add some titles. I'll show you guys how I do that, because I have a whole section here where I go around and I shoot those mausoleums. Like I said, I'm gonna add some things just for the channel members. Um, some extra content, as well as that whole section inside the Wade Chapel where the woman's telling me the history about it. And it's really interesting, especially if you're interested in like theology, or um uh like Christianity, like the history of it and stuff. Like, it's pretty interesting just to see like some of the things in there. Alabaster. That's what it is that he carved, like the lanterns and stuff in there. I'll show you guys one real quick. Let's see, I don't even have one of those pictures up here. Um but yeah, so like he carved like railing, he carved uh not just railing, but he carved like big lanterns out of alabaster. And it's insane.
All right, so when I add my titles, I have stuff pre-made already because um it makes everything so much easier. So I have my 100 series logo. I add that at the beginning of all of my vlogs now. Everything that's in the 100 series. Um so I want to add that in here, and I try to do it within the first, 10 seconds, but I have a couple things that I need to fit in here. So normally this comes first. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was found. And it doesn't need to be that long. It needs to be just a quick flash. Welcome to Cleveland, and I stole this idea from like rap videos. Oh, cool. Let me see what you got going on up here, Chuck. Thinking of trying Bill. Okay. Uh, yeah. So Chuck, you definitely need to do the live streaming, man. Um, even just from your phone, like it's not hard to do. I mean, you know that, like you do it, like you said, you hop on the stream with your buddy, but like even just from like your iPhone, how I do it, like on my drives to work and stuff like that. Um, I would definitely do it because you never know, you're gonna pick up somebody random out there, especially on like game nights. And with the huge push that YouTube just made to pick up like, is it Sunday Ticket? Or what did they paid like, was it $6 billion to get the rights to that, Chuck? So like I know you're a college sports guy, but the whole point I'm trying to make is like the how much YouTube is investing in football, right? Is bringing more and more of those football fans, college or pro, to the platform. I mean, they're already here. Some of them are already here, but you're bringing other ones in that you might pick up more just random people looking for football content, you know, because your live is going to be just on the live page. You know what I mean? It's not going to be shown just to your viewers. That's how, you'll get random people pop in, is they'll see it and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Let me click on that and see what that's about." And then, once you're in there doing your thing and they're listening to you talk, they'll be like, "Okay, well, I'm going to sub to this guy." So, uh it couldn't hurt. Couldn't freaking hurt. Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was founded in 1869. So we also do pre freaking made titles that are in Davinci Resolve. They're called random write on. I like these. I've been using these on my 100 series. So I'm going to throw these in there. I try to get these within like the first 5 seconds. And this is just for anybody that is keeping track or anybody that's into the 100 series. Um, Making sure that they know what vlog number they're watching, and I am behind, but we're gonna finish it up strong, trust me. Because guess what? This live stream is 65. This vlog here is 66. I should actually be on, what is today? 13. I should actually be on, I should be in the 70s. I'm like 5 or 6 vlogs behind, but I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna catch them up this coming week. Um, what I always do is I always do my opacity at 60% for most of my on-screen text, just because I think it looks a little bit better. So remember that 60%. And then I go and I move this down to the lower third area about here. And one thing that you guys can do, if you like the black bars on top and bottom of your video, very easy to do in Davinci Resolve. You go up to timeline, scroll all the way down to the option where it says output blanking, and then you can choose your aspect ratio here. I do a 2.0, which looks like that. And then you can see that my text sits really close to right on top of that. I just line it up like so. Then what you got is this. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was founded in 1869. It spans 285 acres and has 104. Now, when I say I didn't have a lot of time to really shoot, I didn't, because I would have loved to get some drone footage of this place. And normally, if I have drone footage or I have like some cool B-roll or something, I try to include that in the first 10 seconds as like I don't want to say a teaser, but just like a quick interest point for the viewer, right? Like use it as a hook. And I just try to have something quick and interesting there, and then I have some music come in, and then I have the 100 series logo, and then I have the number of the vlog come in. And normally that's how it goes, but I don't have any drone footage here because, like I said, I didn't have time to really shoot what I needed to shoot, just because we were so pressed for time up there. I could probably actually put this something like this in the intro, like in the very beginning. Let's try that. And I had a cool sound effect when I was sort of working on this on my iPad. Let's see. How quick is that? Okay, that's not super quick. Good, because I don't want something super quick. Um, Let me bring over that sound effect. We're gonna wrap this up in the next probably 15-minute, guys. So just hang in there if you're hanging in with me. And then I'm gonna finish the full on edit, right? So this is just like the base. This is probably gonna be 90% of the way there. And then I'm gonna probably add some music and do some other things. And it'll be changed up a little bit when you guys go to watch it on the channel. So let's see here. Um, Best thing about, Apple products, AirDrop. If you're not an Apple user, like I know, you're gonna say the NFC and all that stuff and the tap to touch and all that stuff, but like AirDrop, that's the best because I'm always airdropping stuff from my phone to my iPad to my iMac. It's for sending files, like it's incredible. All right, so I'm gonna hop over. I'm going to go to Epidemic Sound. It's where I get sound effects and stuff from. Let me share that screen with you guys so you can see it in case you're interested in what I'm doing. All right, so hang on one second, bear with me. All right, check this out. Let's go to Epidemic Sound. Um, Sound effects. Let's type in horror. Don't want that. Okay, this is the one I downloaded. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring that up. Bring that in Davinci. All right, so let's go back to Davinci Resolve. All right, cool. We're gonna see how that sound effect. Hang on, guys. I'm bringing it in here. All right, cool. Here it is. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was founded in 1869. It does not start till about right here. So let's see. All right, so we need to come back. There we go. Now when we see our waveform, that's going to help us a little bit. Welcome to Cleveland. Well, I don't like that ending. Welcome. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This. Welcome. Then it would need to stop right when it makes that like louder shrill noise. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. Cool. I like it. So, do we have the LUT thrown on this? I think we do, but we need to go over to our color wheels and we need to change the look of it a little bit. So even though we have the LUT on it, I want to add some more contrast. Favorite way to do that is the curves tool. All right, so let's try that now. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is Lakeview Cemetery that was founded in 1869. It spans 285 acres and has 104,000 graves. And they are still burying people. Obviously, I have a little bit of wind noise there. I'm not stoked on it, but there's nothing I can do at this point about it. So it is just it's just gonna be there. And there are lots of urban myths like the Hazarot Angel and amazing sculptures all over the place. So we're going to show you guys just a little bit about that and a few things as we take a stroll through here and we shoot some photos. All right, cool. So I'm going to wrap it up here because I know it's getting late for some of you guys. And I don't want to keep you too much longer because I'm going to dig in. I'm going to throw some music on this. And I'm gonna finish it up because I've got this version and I've got the other version that I'm gonna be releasing tomorrow, as well as some other channel member exclusive kind of things um, that I'm working on. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. Chuck, as always, man, you're always here. I appreciate it. I hope that you are safe driving down to South Carolina and keeping it safe, you and the family while you're at the game. Brandon, I don't know what happened to you. Haven't seen you in the chat in a while, so I assume you went to bed. Uh, but I will see you this weekend for sure. So if you guys need any sort of help when it comes to editing, I can make in-depth editing tutorials. Like I said, this is just a very basic vlog one. I could show you how to do pretty much anything within Davinci Resolve. So if you're watching this on the repeat, throw a comment down. Let me know what you want to see. If you like these videos, let me know that, hey, it's cool to see how these vlogs are made. And what are your ideas surrounding the channel membership? Do you think what I'm doing by cutting up certain sections of the vlog and releasing like a uncut versions and like director's commentary versions for the channel members is a cool idea? Let me know. because I'm playing with a lot of different ideas for my channel right now. And once we get through this 100 series, we're going to be doing all sorts of gnarly things. So, um, yeah. So I guess if nobody's got any questions for me, I'm out of here. So I appreciate you guys as always. Stay rad. Just go shoot, and I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.